Thank you.
Let's do 4:52, the same time. Confirming a quorum.
Let's go this way this time.
Teresa O'Neill, council member.
Deanna Santana, city manager.
Brian Doyle, city attorney.
For Herb, recreation supervisor and staff liaison.
Bobby Estrada, the current chair for the senior commission.
I'm Carolyn. I'm the Senior Advisory Commissioner. Wanda Buck, Senior Advisory Commissioner. Margaret, Senior Advisory Commissioner.
Colley, Vice Chair of the Senior Advisory Commission.
And Nancy Toledo, member of the Senior Advisory Commission.
I'm Pat Kolstad, and I am the world's nicest council member.
We had to hear that one last time.
One last time.
Kathy Watanabe, Vice Mayor, and has had the pleasure of sitting next to the nicest council member for the last 2 years.
I just want to remind us that we're live streaming as well as recording, and so please remember to speak into your microphone so that everyone can hear you.
Debbie Davis, Santa Clara City Council, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, let's go back here too into the audience since.
Hi, everybody. Kim Castro, Recreation Manager.
Kim Castro.
Jim Teixeira, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Director Teixeira. And Anthony? Hello. Hi, Anthony. Hello. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to come back to you and ask you your opinion, so pay attention. I just wanted to remind everyone that this is Councilmember Kolstad's last meeting with us. He's officially retiring after today, and off to Washington. So we can ask him all the tough questions now. Make sure we get those all in before the end of the meeting. So again, welcome to the Senior Advisory Commission. It's a pleasure to have you all here today, and we're excited and anxious to hear about what's been going on with your commission and your work plan for the upcoming year and how we can assist in that to help benefit our seniors here in Santa Clara. So Bobby, you'd like to start?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. The background, as of July 23rd, and I believe you each have this handout in front of you, but since we're streaming, I'll go ahead and talk about this. So as of July 23rd, 2018, the Senior Advisory Commission meeting, the commissioners developed a work plan for fiscal year 18-19. The plan was created through a discussion of current trends relating to the senior population, the prioritization of what the commission has the capacity to address, and the local community needs. One, we developed opportunities to promote health and wellness by hosting the Strong Live Long Health and Wellness Fair in May of 18, and we'll host it again in May of 19. Educating seniors on the emergency health challenges through quarterly senior center newsletter articles and by annual education presentations. We also increased elder fraud prevention awareness by offering educational workshops 3 times a year, or we will. Champion the city's World Health Organization and the age-friendly city initiatives by reviewing the senior needs assessment findings and recommending city action as appropriate. Delegating one of our commissioners to attend the city ADA commission meetings and delegating one commissioner member to attend the city pedestrian master plan committee plan meetings. And as we go through this document, for further discussion, I'm going to defer to Grant to talk about health and wellness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we started the Health and Wellness Fair 2 years ago. We held it for the first time. In the first year, we had about 20 exhibitors, and we had quite a crowd. We thought that we could maybe expand it a little bit and do a little bit better. The following year, last year, we had organizations that were calling us on the phone saying they wanted to be a part of it because they had heard about it. So we quickly expanded to over 40 exhibitors and a lot more participants that came from all over the community. And this was everything from every nonprofit that we could think of that would be beneficial to seniors would have an exhibit booth, and they could show things off and get the information out about what they can do for senior citizens. One of the things that we're talking about this year, and absolutely no decision has been made, we're still in discussion, is maybe expanding it this year to for-profit organizations. But that would be restrictive because we didn't want to turn it into a sales seminar. So it'll be something that we'll be discussing here probably either this month or next month as to if we should include for-profit organizations that can benefit senior citizens. And with a little bit more expansion, we've just about taken over all of Fremont Park. And we think next year we'll do all of that. We'll have all of Fremont Park. And it will be on May 17th from 10 to 1. I really invite all of the city staff, council members, to come and see this. This is really an exciting time for senior citizens to come and in one place gather information so that they can use the information to make their lives healthier, easier, and more comfortable living in the city of Santa Clara. So I really encourage everybody to participate in it this year, come and see. I know that a couple of you got to go the last 2 years and see what we were doing. So it'll be coming up on May 17th, and I really look forward to it. Again, it's been a fun event for me to put on and help with. I couldn't have done it absolutely without Mallory and Jennifer. They've guided me through the whole thing because 2 years ago, I didn't know what a health and wellness fair was. And so now with the help of, or the guidance of Mallory and Jennifer, the thing has become unbelievable. I'm really proud of the event we put on. So if we could get more people out for it.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you about that? So I attended the last 2 years, and I saw the difference. I thought the first year was really good, except it was really hot the first year. And then last year, the weather was much, much better.
I worked on that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Grant. I know you can do a lot of
clouds.
things. Yes, it's amazing. You're an amazing commissioner. And so there was a lot more people there the next year. So tell us how if you start adding for-profits in there, how does that change, what's there and what kind of for-profits would you be looking at?
Well, there's for-profit organizations that assist seniors, and that would be, we could start looking at insurances, long-term care insurance. There's also the assisted living facilities.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we all have to speak in the speaker. Yeah.
So we have the different nursing homes, assisted living facilities, insurance companies. So there's a lot of different areas that we could open it up to, but we would be very restrictive because we don't want just any for-profit organization to come in and set up a booth and turn it into a sales fair. We'd still like it to be something that the senior citizens can use, and we thought that this would be a chance for the for-profit to show off what they do and the differences between those organizations.
So the first year you had the Lions Club, I think, did the hearing tests?
Yes.
And then last year, the Lions Club helped with, was it the eye, the vision? Eye
They
exams?
did the eye and the hearing.
They did hearing too?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure
And
about
then we
that.
had Kaiser that was in for the blood pressure and skin cancer test.
See, those are really beneficial. I think they're fabulous. And I know that many of us have had the opportunity over the last year to attend your senior commission meetings. I think at least you have one of us there once a month.
Yes.
So we've learned a lot. I know I did from the times that I've attended, learned a lot. And one of the discussions that I was fortunate enough to be in was about the Health and Wellness Fair and the opportunities to improve maybe transportation to be able to maybe shuttle some seniors over from Valley Village or Liberty Towers or the John Byrne Center, or some ways that the city can assist with the transportation. So I hope that you're looking at that as well, ways to get more seniors over there, because what you're providing them at the Health and Wellness Fair is just invaluable for all of them, all the information and the services that are there for them.
That is one of the things that we've been discussing, is to have some type of a shuttle service and get more information out to those places like Valley Village and Liberty Towers, so that we can get more people that. But we also, at the same time, we want to look at a shuttle service, and we were thinking about using the old police building parking lot as a point for the shuttle service to shuttle back and forth people who want to park over there, because parking over at Fremont Park is a little tough. So if we could get a shuttle service out of the old police department building, it might help us out there.
Right, or even, is the Triton parking lot, is that full during the day with city employees? Is that what that is? Okay. So somewhere around this area. So however we can help with that, I think it's important to be able to get some seniors over there during the time period.
We'll definitely look into that, and thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, do the commissioners have any comments on anything that Grant commented on? Go ahead.
You might want to repeat that.
I'm
Okay.
I'm so proud of our city, our community, and Grant, the staff for the age-friendly city. And one of the questions asked on the application was, how are we going to contribute to the World Health Organization? And we had written down that we would set an example. And I believe that the wellness fair really does that.
Okay. Carolyn.
I wanted to add a little bit to the transportation idea of the shuttles. We had, Nancy came in last week, and someone else, the committee that's been appointed for the sidewalks. We were talking about school children and safety and that type of thing, and we're also looking at hoping that maybe a plan could be worked out so that shuttle service could be used throughout our city to cut down traffic and speeding. And I don't know about children getting shuttled to school, at part times, and then other times the same shuttle for seniors to the senior center, the library, or shopping, because we do, as everyone knows, we have a huge increase in people here, so we have lots more cars and speeders, and so that would be a nice thing to have hop on, hop off bus, and if somebody could figure out where it goes and how it takes you there, and if it's a jitney or a golf cart or something like that, it would be fabulous for seniors to have that opportunity. Really, it'd be great.
Thank you. If there's not any more comments, then I'll go ahead and move on with Wanda and Carolyn are both going to talk about the emerging health challenges and education. So I'm not sure who wants to go first here.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Wanda?
Again, I'm so excited. At the Wellness Fair last year, I worked a booth with Sam Orm where we had mindfulness sessions, and we had sit-down yoga sessions, and we're going to do it again this year. And everything we hear about our health comes back to us individually, in the, what we eat, the physical activity, but stress, which is really, really huge. And so emerging health issues, you can hardly go into a store without seeing Mindfulness Magazine. Time Magazine puts out special editions on it. There's all kinds of books. So Carolyn and I are planning an event that's referred to with a Dr. CHOE at Stanford. We're going to request that we have an open meeting where we can talk about memory, and he's a specialist in Alzheimer's, because one of the things with seniors, of course, the physical exercise and the diet make an effect, but it's the mindfulness that contributes. And it's pretty scary. We start forgetting at 40. And as you get older, you worry about a little more, but everybody is sort of forgetting because our brains change. And mindfulness, by reducing the stress, helps our memory and by paying attention. And so that's a seminar we're planning that will happen in either March or June. We're trying to tie it in with Brain Awareness Week. And we'll probably put on another function, but I'd like to concentrate how that ties in with memory. And please come to our booth at the Wellness Fair. That's all I have to say, and my light's on. Good, I did it right. Your turn, Carolyn.
Well, the other aspect of the senior brain is developing new cells and new dendrons and whatever we have in there. And I've been researching a couple of things from women professors and doctors at Berkeley who did huge programs. Dr. Diamond was far and ahead advanced for the development of the brain and what makes your brain grow and what makes you become interested in living or an active senior or active person. And one of the things that she tested was touch and attention and friendships and things like that we have been saying nurtures you as an older person. It not only nurtures you and connects you with your community as a powerful, involved person with a life, it also physically does it. It's not just, somebody's idea. It really does it. They did, tests on the brain cells and all that sort of thing. And then the next person who I saw in KQED was her, understudy, and her name is Melissa Suzuki, and she's also finding out that it's very much exercise and physicalness that helps us to stay young and keeps our brain cells and our growing. And I think these are important things that we have in our community center. Our senior center is so wonderful that we have the pool and all the exercise things and the engagement. So we want to, bring that point out too. How valuable what we're doing with the seniors and what the city is doing for our seniors is just wonderful. And for people that are not so senior, who will be senior later, it's good for everybody.
Must be talking about us.
No, not at all.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I'm there, I know, because I already have I searched, because when Sam brought this up, I was always searching for words, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. You go through a change that you just kind of, and stress does have a lot to do with it, because your body just reacts. And so when Sam came up with that, I was like thinking of brain games and having a championship on, challenging the next person. And I remember my grandmother she did crossword puzzles all the time to keep her mind going. And I remember that when I was younger, because I couldn't understand why she was totally into doing in pen the New York Times crossword puzzle. I was like, man, you must be smart if you can do it in pen. So, but it was kept her active. It kept her, and the hand thing too. She crocheted and she knitted, and which is like a thing of the past. I don't see that much anymore. But a stress reliever and she told me to develop patience, but as you can see, I'm not a very patient person. So I was never good at crocheting and knitting. I just didn't have the time. It would get me frustrated. So I gave up on that kind of thing. But I think what you're going with is a good idea to bring people in, baby boomers, you, and anybody, because I think if we're challenging ourselves every day, like Pat mentioned in his speech today, he learns every day. And if you're not learning something, then you might as well just crawl up. But I think that the wellness fair, I've been to it 2 years in a row, and I have these now because of that. They made me go in and have my eyes checked, and I found out that I had, I needed to get glasses. So if I hadn't done that, I would have never really known. So it's beneficial to, I think, everybody. And I know the parking situation is bad. But if we can get a lot more people there, and especially within the villages that we have, for some people that are kind of shut in a little bit, that they would really enjoy the day out there, because it was a lot of fun. I mean, the food and all the booths and things that you could get. And I still have my little brain that Sam gave me.
Yeah, I have that too.
It was. I think that was a really cute idea, because it reminds you all the time. So, but I love attending your meetings. I think that you guys come up with really good ideas, and moving forward. And it's like, what can we do? How can we keep going?
Well, every meeting, don't you get a list? I get a list when I go in.
Oh no,
and then you have to check off the list before you come back.
No, I don't get
yes.
that list. Well, you're the mayor,
it's a tough crowd. It's like you get these things done.
We'll be expecting you to come back.
I know.
Okay. Any other questions from council regarding this area? Okay. A couple things that they didn't comment on that I will go ahead and comment is that they, in this area, Carolyn and Wanda both got together and put an article together that was published called Just Breathe. It was in the Senior Center October newsletter. So if you haven't had a chance to see that or read it, I suggest maybe you do that. And that they are also working on the health and wellness, with the health and wellness team, and they are scheduling a Stanford geriatrician, Dr. Philip Cho, for a presentation, hopefully sometime in early March. So we are moving on, and the topic of that will be, I guess, actually it's been scheduled for March 12th, is brain awareness, during Brain Awareness Week, and then hopefully they'll do another article again in June for Alzheimer's, and during the Brain and Awareness Month for that also. So lots of things happening in that area that reaches out more than just to our meetings. So I just want to comment and thank them for working on that. Comments at all? Okay, if not, I'll just keep moving on.
Well, that was one of the things you talked about at one of the meetings that I had gone to was, getting things published and getting information out there, whether, written by the commission or the commissioners and, partnered with someone else, but just to get that information out there on a regular basis. And that any way that we can use to communicate it throughout the city, whatever they're publishing, that would be important to the seniors that maybe don't get the newsletter, the Senior Center newsletter, and then maybe they're shut in, or they look online, or there's other places for them to find it. If we can take it through the city and send it through our channels of communication, it would be really helpful.
Okay.
So,
all right. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next topic, increasing elder fraud prevention awareness by offering educational workshops 3 times a year. It only shows my name, but I want to add Alma Garcia was part of that up until her resignation, and so she was very active in assisting me in having discussions and working on things that would be brought before the senior citizens of Santa Clara. So then this past June, it was called Browser Awareness. And the staff, the IT staff of the city of Santa Clara came and held this at the senior center. And what was so astonishing of it was we expected maybe 20, 30 people. We had standing room only. They not only stayed there for an hour, they were there for about almost 2.5 hours, answering every kind of question after they did their presentation. So I want to commend the IT staff that they really put themselves out there for us and in helping educate the seniors to beware about all these things, and that was pretty exciting. So we hope to hold another seminar this coming year in 2019 again. And we need to be sure that we have a big enough room and that we ask them for more time, because it definitely wasn't enough time. It was amazing how many people had so many basic questions that they were able to answer. And so with that said, for this upcoming year, in fact, on December 11th at 1 p.m., we're going to be holding another presentation, Protect Yourself During the Holidays. Jennifer was able to coordinate with the partnership with Santa Clara PD, and they will be coming out and giving a presentation, and hopefully that will be, a lot of people will take advantage of that. So if you have time to come by and get updated on your personal safety, that would be great also. The commission's also looking into partnering again with the IT department. I think I kind of mentioned that, to take it a step further and include it in maybe a different space using the computer lab so that they can partner up and actually see what they're talking about and on the computer. looking for the signs that tell you that it's whatever the wear is, or, you know, all the bad things that are on the computer these days. So that kind of completes my part of it for educating them on fraud prevention. We've talked about also having somebody come from the county that will talk about elder abuse, which would be physical elder abuse, and what qualifies in that area also for our seniors. So, any comments, questions from our group? Wanda?
I don't think, did you touch on the fact of the timeliness with the December 11th fraud prevention, in that there were, particularly at Christmas time, and that there had been some reports from the police about people being accosted in the parking lots? And so we thought it was important for seniors at that to have a heads up for the holidays, as well as everyone else.
I think it's really important because I'm just wondering, some of these you know, events and these trainings and these informational presentations, I'm just wondering, because it's so helpful when we're able to live stream them, what facilities do we have that would be more advantageous to have some of these presentations so that we could live stream them? Because there's so many people that are preying on our seniors, like in so many ways, shapes, and forms, whether it's knocking at their door, knocking on their door, or online, or trying to, you know, telephone, or it's in a parking lot trying to take their purses or their bags or accost them. I mean, how can we best get this information out in a timely way, and what facilities do we have that, where, you know, you talked about that online that was put on by our IT department for the computer fraud, the browser beware. I mean, that is so important that you had an overflow room, but is there a way we can get this out to help our seniors protect themselves?
This is the most convenient room with respect to pushing out on the city's local cable and live streaming, and it's equipped, obviously, to be able to push that information out. To the extent that we aren't able to use the room, then we can always, with the appropriate budget, send some folks out to record it, and then we can make it available on the city's website and through the city's local cable channel and things of that sort. So there's ways that we can look at expanding the viewership and pushing out information to targeted audiences.
I think we really should, because
I'm looking at Jim in the back so that we can take a note and start working on that.
right. I think that's beneficial. Wanda?
Could there be links on a podcast? Or I know I've read city managers, you know, like on Nextdoor, but I'm wondering if
Is your what, microphone
I'm
on?
wondering if there
Yes.
could be links, like on your blog, or that people, like if they're interested in that subject, they could hit the link and it would take them to something that people could see.
Right. I think that's what we're talking about. So you can either live stream them or record them at the same time so that they can be viewed later.
For reading on the city site, you know, just, it would be easy. Some of it
Well,
is,
as long as it's easy to find on the city site. That's a challenge sometimes.
I think she's saying, like,
yes.
if the city manager included a mention in her blog, because a lot of people are reading that now.
And we're starting to push out daily little blogs through social media about current events. And so to the extent that we have a podcast or that we have recorded it, we can push the link out and say the Senior Advisory Commission held a forum on X, Y, and Z. Here's the link to listen or to watch.
I like links.
Be great.
Maybe we could make it a more, an ongoing thing so that people know about it, that when there is something to be cautious about, for example, like the Butte County Fire, people asking for donations and money, there was a lot of fraud involved in that. So when something comes up, we should be able to put that out there to people and maybe create a, you know, a bank of knowledge for people. A place to look would be on your blog or the link that you have, so you can know about things that are happening here.
You can also use our special order of business on every Tuesday night when we have a meeting to talk about really important things or things that you want the community to know. Upcoming events like the Health and Wellness Fair, maybe we push it out, for a few months before the actual event. And then things, maybe to watch out for, or this is what's happening in the senior world, and just get information out to the community. Just a little, 5-minute presentation could go a long way too.
Yeah, I know a couple of years ago, I got a lot of emails from people because somebody sent an email that I was stranded in Italy or something like that, and I think that's kind of one of the common
Yeah,
ones.
we've all gotten those.
Yeah, and now
Send
it's,
money.
now it's the fraud with the fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm stranded in Italy. Send money.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we laugh, but people do, they
Respond.
respond to that, and people
you
lose their
okay?
money over those types of things. And sometimes even working with our police department, there's a trend of something that's going through the city that you start to hear about on Nextdoor and some of the other social media sites that, this is out there, so beware, but it'd be nice to have a local, a localized spot in the city through the senior commission or whatever to identify what's there and, what's true and what isn't, so.
So now I know what it was. I own 2 properties up in Paradise that burnt down, and I was returning deposits on homes, and I sent it Western Union, and they couldn't pick it up. My tenants couldn't pick it up because there was like a double check. I had to show on my end that I was the one sending it, and they were the true recipient.
Oh, yeah.
Western Union was doing that.
What about like at the tree lighting? We have different organizations that have booths there and stuff and pass out information. Do you guys, did they, for the seniors?
We have different department booths as well
Yeah.
as community partners that
Okay.
ask to participate, and those different department booths and community partner booths are sharing information about their resources, their services, and things like that.
Because stuff like what they do is pretty important, and they're, at the tree lighting, we get from age 0 to 80. We get the whole gamut. We get grandparents and kids, and so I'm thinking that, for our generation a little bit would care about what they're doing in the Senior Advisory Commission, and maybe there's some information they can pass out, especially now that they're getting the robocalls, for money and things of that nature, and for them to be on guard for the holidays and stuff like that. Maybe people might want that, take that with them when they're walking around, because they go to every booth. Everybody loves to go to those booths at the thing, so I don't know. It's something you have to man it, and you have to, but if we're sharing, then we could have that, at least let them know that the Senior Advisory Commission has some information there.
Grant and his wife will actually be volunteering at the event.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And probably in the information booth. So
Excellent.
That would be a great connection.
Mm-hmm.
We have to move on because we have only about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
So.
All right, we'll move
Digital
on.
banners, they're at the school. If we had them at the senior center at the city, they catch my eye, middle school and whatever, just a short thing. It alerts people where to go. I don't know if it's too expensive for us, but that would be a wonderful way to communicate.
Yeah, those like electric
Okay.
marquees or whatever that they have. I know exactly.
I'm going to move us kind of along, I think.
We saw a really big one at the River of Life Church just a
Yeah.
couple days ago. Wow, that was a big one. Not that big, but yeah, a smaller, sort of like that's at the community center.
Okay. Maybe we can,
Okay.
I'm sorry, maybe we can put maybe a flyer or something that Grant can hand out on. I know it's Friday night, so it's a little short to try to push another
It's only
thing.
Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I know.
Friday.
I know. I have to drive to Sacramento after I get done here
Oh,
tonight.
no. Oh.
Yeah, so, no, I don't know. We'll see what we can do about maybe publicizing the event on the 11th at the senior center.
Yes,
Maybe
that's
that
a great
night, if we
idea.
can just put some quick flyer thing together. Okay, I'll connect with Jennifer and see if we can put something together on that. But thank you for the suggestions, and I mean, that's what we do pretty much all the time. Because of the time constraints, I'm going to just kind of talk about as far as the the World Health Organization. We will be reviewing the commission in January. We'll be reviewing the senior needs assessment and how that will help us to make future recommendations in regards in continuing to meet the ongoing criteria in the city of Santa Clara to be a World Health Organization, meet their standards. I'm going to move on to Nancy, and if you have some comments on your, to talk about the ADA, I know they haven't met. Nancy is our contact person, representative at the ADA meetings, and it's been several months, so if you want to just add anything to that.
Well,
She needs
yes,
a mic. Okay.
As she mentioned, it's been a while since there has been an ADA meeting.
I don't think they can
However,
hear her.
I have attended the ones that happened, and there's one coming up in a couple weeks. Can you hear me? And I just wanted to comment on how proud I've been when I do attend those meetings. I am so impressed with all the things that all the departments in the city is doing that are generally not known. They just happen and they just make things better. And they're not like publicized in any particular way that I'm aware of. But it's very gratifying to be part of that and to hear what they're doing. And also in the, with the senior needs assessment, when that comes out, I'm hoping to be able to pursue a particular aspect of that and carry it through and see what we can do to follow up the whole World Health Organization project that we've been working on for so long and bring it to some fruition, to some actual project, some product. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The commissioners are rotating to attend the future city pedestrian master plan committee meetings. They did a presentation at our last meeting, which was quite impressive. It's amazing how big it is and what it's going to cover. But I think that's going to be an exciting thing for us as we get educated in where it's going and what information we can help to provide to them. So we thank the city for coming and visiting us this last week, a couple weeks ago. So any quick comments regarding that, the pedestrian presentation, Wanda?
Okay, I guess I just want to, before this is over, say thank you, that my favorite thing is the city council and the mayor attending our meetings and supporting the age-friendly city and our commission. It really makes a difference. Thank you.
Teresa, you attended, I think, the meeting with the, on the pedestrian master plan. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm really grateful that the commission's willing to participate in that. And, we really need to do a lot of work on our pedestrian safety. And unfortunately, probably a lot of you are aware that we had a senior that unfortunately lost her life attempting to cross Kylie Boulevard last week.
Oh,
and
no.
So we need to do whatever we can do to make sure that we have safe places to, if we want people to be out and be physically active, and for a lot of people, that's like walking through their neighborhoods or walking to a store or whatever, we've got to make sure that even like, one of my little things is the Santa Clara Town Center Shopping Center, there's part of it that have like walkway or sidewalks in the parking area, and then for a lot of it, it's not, so it's not always very clear where you expect the people to be walking. And so, it's those kinds of things that we need to be more cognizant of, when we're planning these things, not just to be planning for cars, but to be planning for people to be walking and to be active. So I really think it's great that you're all going to be participating.
Right. And I think we're very excited as a commission. And just wrapping it up, and then my commissioners can add to it if they want to. I also want to thank the council. I think it's been just an amazing improvement in helping us accomplish all the goals that we were able to set goals, and we were able to accomplish the goals by having council will be really interested in what we're doing. The Health and Wellness Fair has been just a huge success. The commissioners, all the commissioners attended and volunteered during this last one, and it was pretty exciting to see the community out there. Grant will be continuing with that and bringing back information, and we'll continue to make suggestions that they may take back. And I know he'll work on the transportation portion of it. So this will be my last holiday meeting with you. I term out. I'll have completed 8 years in June. Wow. So it's been an amazing adventure, and I really love doing it. And I could not do it without a team of this caliber of commissioners. And I welcome Dina. She's coming at a great time. And I want to thank you, all of you personally also. And that concludes my comments. Nobody?
I just wanted to say thank you. You've been a phenomenal commissioner, and I'm sorry to see that you're aging out. I don't know. Can we change aging out? Can we change the charter?
Well, you could always change
you
the
aging
back.
out of this?
It was
You're terming
amazing.
out. Maybe we
Yeah.
can change the
Yeah.
charter and let you
No.
stay on.
No, it
because
was-
I think your
it was 8
commission is phenomenal.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Go off for 2 years and then reapply?
I don't know.
Can
I don't know how that
The
works.
attorney?
But it was amazing when I realized it was 8 years.
I just wanted to remind the council that Bobby also served on the districting
gonna
committee,
mention that
and that was
also.
a tremendous amount of
Yeah.
work, and it was very difficult work, and she did a tremendous job on it. So
So thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Multi-talented. Thank you so much. Thank you for reminding us, City Attorney, because that was very difficult. And yes, you did an amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the commission. I think the Health and Wellness Fair is something that is just going to get better and better every year. I remember when the Arts and Wine Festival started at Central Park back in, I think it was 1982, and it was just small, and look at it now. So I can see this just blossoming and growing into something better and better all the time. And I know Dina's, is it Deanna or Dina? Dina is your new commissioner, and I think you have another one coming on as well. So to give you some more help to take care of all the projects. But I just want to say, however we can help in terms of, we'll continue to attend your meetings. And then, because we do learn a lot when we come to the meetings. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's fun too. But however we can help just communicate and get the word out to our seniors out there that are needing help in so many different ways. Because you're doing such great work, we want to make sure everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
So just don't hesitate. We want to be proactive in helping you as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I live down the street from John Burns, and over the last couple of months, I've been going over there and just listening to their needs. And I was really, one of the things that they're struggling with when you talk about transportation, Carolyn, they don't have a lot of them don't have any means of transportation. And I mean, they use the VTA vehicle, and, they pay, the subsidized cost, but if there's a last minute request, then it goes up exponentially. And a lot of these people are on limited incomes, and they don't have like a vehicle per se that like is there readily available for them. And when I talked to some of them, they were telling me about some of them have never been to the mall, they haven't been to the movies since as long as they've lived there, which is really sad. And to hear that, that our residents, our seniors, are homebound like that. But two things. I wanted to ask if there's anything that we do to reach out to these senior residences to make sure that they are aware of the wonderful programs that you're offering. I know there's another facility over on Pomeroy, I believe, and to make sure that they're aware and that they can get out in some way. And then the other thing is I spoke to Public Works because they have it's right there on Agnew, and it's 4 lanes of traffic. And I was able to talk to Public Works and get them to look at extending the light to give people extra time to cross the street. So the Director of Public Works just told me this afternoon that they were able to achieve that and get some extra time put on the the crossing light there, which is great. So I don't know if there's any other, crosswalks like that in the city that could use that kind of, extra time as well, just to protect the residents. And finally, one of the residents at John Burns, she's turning 100 years old on Monday, and the mayor and I are actually going out. We were invited to go and celebrate, and so, but they've opened it up, so I'm waiting to get the invitation. So when I get it, I'd love to send it to you. Jennifer, maybe you can share it with the commission, and if any of you are available, they would love to have some people come and celebrate Dolly's 100th birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One thing I did forget to mention to you is that we are looking at meeting in different places. We're hoping between January and June that we will have 3 off-sites and 3 at the senior center. So we are looking at holding a commission meeting at the library.
Good.
The Mission Library, and various sites in the city. So
You could do
we're
something
gonna
at the
take it on
north side, because
road.
the north side library is like almost right across the street from John Burns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
we're
walking.
gonna take our meetings on the road.
Is it possible to have commission meetings like in Valley Village or any of the senior centers, senior facilities?
They just need to
City
be
Attorney, I'm
agendized.
just curious. As long as it's agendized?
Right.
You may want to
Right.
think about that
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Liberty Towers, having something
Yes.
there, or even
go to
right
them.
there, or
Yeah.
at the community room
Yeah.
at Mission Library.
Yeah.
Because they can walk there
Right.
as well, or whatever's easy,
Right.
but
Well, we had it, yeah.
I
we-
love that idea
Yeah.
of bringing your meetings out into the community, and then we'd have to advertise them that they
Yeah.
are.
Right, they just have
they're
to be advertised.
happening.
Well, because we sat one day and we had this discussion, and I know you gotta go, but, we sit in that room and we're lucky if we get a visitor other than
Agreed.
council. And I think that's, we'd like to expand that. We'd like to see more people get involved and tell us things, and then we'll know what's
I
kind of
think we're-
going on.
We'd be
Yeah.
supportive
So
of
we're-
that,
Yeah,
for
so
they
sure.
we're-
want
so we're
to.
looking
I know they
at
want
that.
to be a part
We
of it.
don't want them to just come there because they're mad about something. Because we had somebody come and change it, but just so they can share their ideas
Oh,
with
yeah.
us.
Right. 'Cause they're very smart. They're very engaged.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Kathy?
I was just going to say, I can answer the question you're talking about, just kind of how do we disseminate our information. We do have a mailing list, and so many of the senior communities are on our mailing list, and so we send out monthly the newsletter, all of our flyers, health and wellness information, so that goes to all of those facilities.
Okay, good.
And then also our health and wellness team,
Yeah.
they're great. They're boots on the ground, and
Yes.
they're in
talked
all
to
of
Mallory.
those
Yeah.
facilities meeting with clients. And so they're a great resource as well to share with them what we're doing at the facility, or if there's a way that they can help when they're there meeting with clients. So
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
I just wonder if there's anything that we could set forth for all of us to be more, to find out how, when we're talking about jitneys, we're talking about golf carts, we're talking about transportation for multiple people. Is something we could put forth so we can look into it more? Or, I mean, do we have companies? I'm very new at this, so I'm just throwing out darts here. Does would Google contribute? Would Tesla contribute? I mean, how do we get
You're talking
vans?
the private sector coming in and
Or, to
sponsoring.
get people from Valley Village or to the senior center, to the mall, or to wherever, we want to go, because people don't drive, their eyesight isn't good, or they want to visit a friend, and it seems as though we have such a large city with such a huge tax base from our neighbors that are very wealthy here, that we should be able to get a few vans for our seniors. I just don't know how to do that, but it would be nice if we could make some kind of a goal or wait some kind of a time to find out more and look into things. I mean, is that something that we should be doing now?
Well, I
Because
think
we are
that's something-
talking about it a lot.
I know we're talking, that's something should be discussed at your meeting, and we can talk about it as well. It's
Yeah.
getting the private sector. Yeah, but we'd have to look at it ourselves in terms of funding through the city.
And then where we need it, where do we need it?
Well, we had a developer donate a hazmat fire truck and one that donated a bookmobile, and, you know, sometimes they get very creative on things that may benefit the community, so
It's great.
on
Should
our
we have a
side, we
special
can
route,
definitely look at that.
the El Camino route or the Homestead route or something?
So, I'm sorry to say we're gonna have to leave. Our other meeting starts in 5 minutes, and they have to repurpose this room and break it down.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for bringing this forward and your plan, and hopefully we'll see you on the, is it the 12th or the 11th? Tuesday, the 11th at 1 o'clock? Or we'll hopefully see all of you on Friday at the tree lighting ceremony.
And Grant's working at the tree lighting. Grant and Gail.
All right, very good. And hopefully you'll get those flyers out for the event on the 11th. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you, Anthony, for coming.